Hi everyone, this is Howlack and welcome to another Java tutorial session. Today I will be discussing the access level modifier protected. Protected actually allows visibility between private and public. So private is only accessible within the class itself, and public is accessible within the class and of course outside any packages. So protected pretty much gives you an in-between. Okay, so let's get into some code. So here on my left, you see my main class, and on my right of the screen here, I created a class called superclass. Okay, and superclass is in package 2. The main is just in package 1. Okay, so let me fill in some code and demonstrate some of the properties of protected. Okay, so here's my superclass, and the first thing I want to do is actually create some instance variable. Okay, so let's just call it public int. Okay, so this makes it intuitive, and I'm just going to say 99. Okay, so here we have a public access level modifier. Okay, now what I'm going to do is actually use protected this time and say int and say protected. Okay. So this makes it readable. So I'll deal with these two first. Okay, so now this is a superclass. So the fact that it's a superclass, you know that I will actually be inheriting it. Okay, so let's go in and create another one. Okay, create another class. I'm just going to call it subclass. Okay, here's my subclass, and I'll be extending superclass. Okay, so we learned inheritance in our previous lectures already. Okay, so now the first thing is to demonstrate the visibility of public and protected. Okay, so I'm going to create just a method. Let's just call it method. Okay. Right, so here's my method, and because I don't want to type the imports all the time, let's just do a static. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we have, we're going to print out. Okay, so now we know that subclass is inheriting a superclass. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is just show, well, there it is. We can access public int. Okay. So public we know is accessible anywhere, and since subclass and superclass are in the same package, that's nothing new. Okay. Now let's try accessing protected. Okay, and there we go. We can access protected as well. Okay. Now let's add another variable in, another instance variable, and this will be package private. I'm just going to call it default. Okay, so 77. And you notice I don't even need to run my code. Okay. I just want to demonstrate the various levels of accessibility. Okay, so there we go, and everything works. So notice I haven't even made use of my main yet. Okay, when we inherit a class, a superclass, so in subclass here we have direct access to all these instance variables from superclass. And you notice that here, these two, protected and default, okay, if they're in the same package, they pretty much have the same visibility property. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something else that's different, and you're going to see that why protected is a little bit different from the package private access level modifier. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this. Okay, so I'm going to move it into package 1. Okay, so now we're no longer in the same package. All right, so I'm just going to continue, and look what happens right away. All right, right away, the package private access modifier is flagged as being not accessible. Okay, so if you recall that from our previous lecture, package private is only accessible within the same package. Okay, but notice that protected is allowed. Okay, so here, let's just say this error, right? outside package. Okay, and this is okay. So the takeaway here is that if you have members in your superclass, okay, and the members are declared with protected, when classes inherit from the superclass, it has direct access to the protected members, okay, but not the default. Okay, so not the package private members. Okay, so that's the difference between protected and package private outside of the package itself. Okay, so that's what I want to demonstrate. All right, so now let me go back into main here. Now I'm going to finally use main. Okay, so I'm going to create a superclass object. All right, so new superclass. Okay, so there we have our object, and now again I'm just going to do an import. Okay, static import. Java.lang system. All right, so there we go. All right, just in case I need to print some stuff out, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, so here we are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to access. Okay, so no surprise here. All right, so public is allowed. Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to access the protected member, and you notice that right away it's not allowing me to do that. Okay, so one thing to note, it is directly accessible as long as the class inherits the superclass containing the protected member. Okay, so just because you create an object of the superclass, okay, you don't have access to it. Okay, so this will not work. So I'm just going to comment that out. Okay, now let's try creating a subclass object. Okay. All right, so we are there. We're going to print out. Okay. There you go. And no surprise again. Same thing. Now, if we try it with, and again, okay, so even though we have access to it, when we actually declare the object itself, so we instantiate an object of a subclass, we don't have access to, or direct access to the protected member of the superclass. Okay, so please note that you only have direct access when the subclass actually inherits from the superclass containing the protected member. Okay, so this is what I want to demonstrate to you. Protected. Okay, so you notice that you have to be cautious. There's a bit of a word of warning here. If you actually feel, okay, so protected is good because it provides you a bit of efficiency. Okay, so some performance, you can get direct access to it. However, you have to note that even across packages, like I demonstrated here, even across packages, if a class inherits from your class and your class declares instance variables or methods with the access level modifier protected, it will be directly accessible from the subclass. Okay, so you're giving up a bit of encapsulation here. Okay, so just be careful with that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.